And we're live. Fishing Maniacs, what's going on? Welcome back to another one. We got the boy Binya Outdoors with me. My lights are getting freaky on me already.
For those of you watching over on my stream, yeah, I just hijacked mainstream because why not?
Yeah. That's what's going down right now. So, yeah, we got some fall fishing talk. Talk about a few things we got going on, some lures. Yeah.
Have you been fishing at all recently?
No, not too much.
No.
Let me see. What's going on? Oh, did I do something? They might have sent me an email and I might have to verify something. But let me see. When was the last time I went fishing? Oh, actually, no. Yeah. The last time I went fishing, I caught a tank, actually.
Did you?
Yeah. It's my biggest. So it's my new Yak Attack leaderboard PB.
How do you like that leaderboard, dude? I'm thinking
Love it.
about picking one up.
I love it. It's amazing.
It's almost time for me to.
It's a stupid little thing. So it's like the So like I don't know if this picture is gonna work. I'm just gonna text it to you because there's like cull tags on it.
The cull tags are something that interests me because a lot of times with the Slay Nation tournaments I'm doing, we don't use the app.
Yeah. So
we're just doing photos. So I have to go back through and figure out what my smallest is. Whereas if I have the tags, then it's easy. Even just one tag would be
3.
like, oh, no.
I think it's 3.
That's what I'm saying. It's got 3, but even just one is beneficial because I'm like, okay, this is my smallest.
Yeah.
And you can keep moving it, but having 3 is even better, in my opinion. But
I'm gonna take a quick look.
My smallest is. Whereas if I had the tags, then it's easy. Even just one tag would be like, oh no. That's what I'm saying. It's got 3, but even just one is beneficial because I'm like, okay, this is my small.
I think I can hear your stream in your phone.
Yeah, right? Hold on.
Technical difficulties. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at. I gotta check my email to see what's going on with my YouTube account. Hold on. Thank you guys for pointing that out because I dang sure. Hold on. You may have received a notification to help keep your account. Okay, so I think I got it, but what address?
Yeah, I don't think your audio is carrying over from the stream, so I might have to do something a little fancy here.
This is weird.
What's going on?
You know, I know. Action. It doesn't even make sure what? Enter the pin be mailed to your payment address. What? They mailed me a pin apparently?
Mailed you? Like physically mailed you?
I think so.
That's weird.
Okay. So apparently I got to go check the mail, which I never do. So.
That's funny.
All right. I'll go do that later, but thank you for pointing that out. I have to verify my address before they can send me money. Okay, YouTube, relax. But anyway, I'll get that going after this. What's up, Caro? But yeah, my last time I went fishing, went to Lake Mayapack with my boy Kyle and Nico, and I was able to snag a 20 that was a 4.6, 4.67 Yeah, 4.67 on a divine spinner bait.
Nice.
I think I caught. Yeah, I caught two good ones right back, literally back to back casts. I caught a 17 and a quarter, and then literally the next cast, I caught a 20. I didn't take my camera or nothing with me that day. I just kind of, honestly, I'm probably not going to take my camera with me. I'm trying to fish the fall brawl this weekend with my club.
Dude, you gotta take your camera.
I know, but I have so much footage. Like I haven't even touched Gunnersville yet.
Yeah, but so actually, this goes right with our topic, though. Okay, so here's the deal. Yes, you have so much footage, but what else are you gonna do this winter? You can edit
Exactly.
footage. So get
Well,
it,
that's
and
the
then
thing.
you'll
I
have
don't
something
have
to
the
do.
room for it. Like I don't even have another memory card.
Uh,
I got like 3 memory cards filled. So now I'm gonna have to go back
Gotcha.
to like one memory card and like hopefully I can transfer some of it onto my phone, which I need to stop BSing and do and just get
Gotcha.
it done and stop. Honestly, that's why like my problem is I don't have that much storage just overall. So I
Okay.
have like my phone and my memory cards. So I transfer it to my phone, I edit the video, post the video, and then I delete it.
Oh, really? See, dude,
Yeah.
I'm the other way. Like, I have so much footage, dude.
See, that's another thing because like I'm like scared that I'm gonna get just caught up in that and I'm not gonna do like the new stuff. Like maybe one day, like when I get like real nice and get nice and organized and have 17 memory cards, then maybe I can be like, okay. Like honestly, what I wish I could do, and I just don't know if it's possible, I would like to have like one memory card that I take when I go do tournaments and have one memory card that's just fun fishing. But I don't think they make one that's big enough that I can get.
Right.
Because
No,
I'm
that
trying to
makes
think like
sense.
a tournament is 8 hours minimum. Not eight. It's probably like 6 to 8. So I would need, my math is terrible. Bear with me. I think there's 7 or 8 tournaments. So it's 64 hours on one memory card. I don't think they make that one that big, right? Because I think they give you is like 2 days or like 3 days.
See, that's the thing, dude. So I don't do anything from my phone. So, dude, I have you'd be shocked, dude, honestly. So, no joke, dude, I have 8 terabytes of footage. I have probably 20 terabytes total of space, and it's almost all full.
That's
And then
nuts.
I just phase out the old stuff.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I would get lost in it. I have like a problem. I get lost.
Yeah,
I can't like, I don't know.
that makes sense.
Hey, we got somebody new. What's going on, brother? Welcome. Appreciate you.
The most awful looking.
Definitely got a nice gang here. So if you want to hang out, Outfish, we definitely appreciate having you. Caro, thank you for the introduction. Welcome to the Maniacs, the Fishing Maniacs. That is the Hudson Valley Bass Fishing Trail. We still got it's like this the last little fun tournament of the year because it's getting to the point where water's starting to get cold. So they don't want to be, and I don't blame them. We don't want to be liable for anybody being forced to go out in an iffy situation. So this
Not
is
at
it.
all.
Because the water temperatures are probably, I mean, we had a little warm run this last 3-4 days. So like it was like 80 degrees today, which is a little weird. Yeah, the high was 84 today. Wow.
That's
65
really
right
weird.
now. Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, I think last time I checked the average water temperature was like 64, 62-ish, somewhere in there.
Dude, it's crazy because the weather here has been so jacked up in the sense of we have gone from like last week it was frost on my windshield.
Mm-hmm.
like we were getting like Arctic level temperatures, and then all of a sudden it was like warm again. It's actually kind of nice because I don't have heat in my house right now.
Really?
My furnace failed, and I couldn't get the guys to come fix it until Thursday. So I've been like 3 weeks without any actual heat source other than I have like infrared heaters, like little space heaters, but
Yeah.
they'll do all right, but they're not
Yeah.
covering what
It's
you
not.
need.
Exactly. They're talking
But
smack about my Knicks. They didn't play well tonight. It's all right. It's okay.
but yeah, dude, the weather is weird because so that's the other thing about fishing. I don't know how it is down there because you guys like technically Jersey doesn't really ice over, right? You could technically fish all year if you really wanted.
Sometimes, barely. They are still biting top water. It's crazy.
See, that's the one thing I can't get on fire on right now.
Yeah.
Everything I've caught on has been straight up like crankbaits, square bills. That's the only thing I can get them to fire on. I've tried buzz baits, I've tried ploppers, I've tried every topwater
I'm getting a straight
application I have.
cranking stick this year. I'm going to get like a 7.3 medium.
I mean, I know a guy that can get you a code, but um, FX has a pretty sweet cranking rod, dude. And
Yeah.
the carbon, so the carbon series, dude, they're only $100 retail,
Mm,
and you can get a seven. I think mine's a 7.3 medium heavy, and it's a moderate, but it's like a real moderate. Like some of
yeah.
these moderates, you got to be careful when you buy them because like 13 for example, what they call a moderate is like a
We got
fast.
broomsticks.
Like it's not a moderate. Like it is like it's way stiffer and way faster of a tip than it is you would think. Like not don't get me wrong, I've got a couple of them. I fish them, but it's like you
Yeah.
have to. That's
I
the
blew
one
one up,
thing.
surprisingly.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've done that, dude. I've broken so many rods. That's why I went with a moderate because I use a moderate for topwater too.
Yeah. It's way better.
It's just especially when you're using like a chopo,
Yeah.
any type of those like plopper style baits or
Yep.
like
The medium.
even
I like,
even
you know what I like? I like the 6 cents rod, the Ben Milliken MF rod, medium
yeah.
moderate, medium heavy moderate.
It's dude, it's and
It's
that's
a
the
good
thing, dude.
rod.
I don't think I would want to go down to a medium because a medium
Yeah.
heavy for me it's a versatility thing. I'm not, independently wealthy. So having a medium heavy moderate means
Yeah.
I could frog with it, but I can crank with it.
You can
But I
cover a
can,
lot. You can
I could
cover a lot.
technically throw that up over on top of pads with a
Yeah.
hollow belly and use it there too.
Yep.
Whereas a medium, you're kind of putting it in a box. You're kind of limiting yourself on where you can use that bait. And the other thing about moderate rods, which a lot of people don't think about, is like so say like a medium heavy moderate. Usually, most companies those rods go up to like ounce and a quarter that you
Mm-hmm.
could throw on it. So then you can start throwing stuff like that 6 cents trace. You can throw a mag draft. You could throw a coal shad.
Those
You could
heavy
throw
crankbaits.
so
Like
you
the
could throw
the
some of those
custom
heavier
bucket.
like Kolchad's perfect example.
Yeah.
Technically, Kolchad's an ounce. You shouldn't really throw that on just a regular medium heavy rod, not a medium heavy fast, because you're getting kind of to the end of that rod's abilities. And with that treble hook and having the moderate rod, you're able to swing into it and not, you can pin that fish better. And that's something that I like to do with the medium heavy moderates is I also throw like those trace, the small glides, the small swim baits because you
Check out
get
the
that
back of the
you
handle.
can wing those things too. With that heavy of a bait, dude, you're more worried about spooling your reel than you are how far you can cast it. Like you got to kind of slow the reel down. Like, okay, I'm at the end of my line now because you just sent it. But fishing vertical on ice for fish, dude.
Alone. Hope the baby's doing well. And he said, love fishing in the winter because the fish still got to eat, but almost all the parking lots are empty. That's
I
big. Yep.
I almost posted that the other day. I pulled in the ramp and I was like, this is why I like from like the second week, Columbus Day forward or Indigenous Peoples Day or whatever we're calling it
Yeah.
now. Um,
that day forward is some of the best. Even if you're not catching fish necessarily, just the limited aggravation
Yep, it's great.
of you pull into a boat ramp and there's like the people that are there are usually fishermen or anglers or whatever term, but like they're guys that are hardcore. You're getting the real anglers there. You're not getting the fly by night guys that don't really know what they're doing or the guys that don't know how to back a trailer. It's
You say
dude,
that's
did I tell you I almost got into a fight at a boat ramp last
oh
Friday?
god. Recently, what the hell happened?
Dude, so I don't know if you saw the reel I posted where I was talking about the sailboat that was blocking the boat ramp. So, dude, so I pull in from fishing, and this sailboat is tied off to the dock. And the way this boat ramp works is it has a car top launch and a boat launch. But I'm on a trailer, so I kind of need the boat trailer launch. The car top launch is kind of a pain in the butt to put my trailer down over. So I'm just sitting there screwing around, kind of waiting. I saw this guy come in with basically, it was like a speedboat kind of style. There was no way he was going to be able to, do anything on that other ramp. So I let him go ahead of me. I was just chilling. So then after he gets his boat on the trailer, he comes over. He goes, "Who the hell owns that sailboat?" And I'm like, I don't know. I just assumed that by the time, you got loaded, the dude would show up. That boat was there. I watched that particular sailboat come across the lake while I was fishing. So I had to have been sitting on that dock for like an hour and a half. So, me being a content creator, I walk over and I go, "This right here is the arrogant bullshit that you have to deal with, blah, blah, blah." Like, I'm just like going over it. That's what that post was. So, I'm packing up and the dude pulls in to come get his sailboat. So, again, content creator, whip out my phone and I start filming him. I'm like, "Update, guys. He's back to get his boat after an hour and a half of holding up this whole boat ramp." He gets out of this car, and it would have been the end of it right there, but he gets out of his car and he goes, "Are you taking photos of my car?" Like he's some famous dude that I need like express written
Yeah.
consent to take his photo at a public boat ramp. And I'm like, "No." And he goes, "Oh." He's like, "Then what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm taking video of your car." And he got cocky and started coming across the parking lot, all storming across. He's like, "Why are you taking video of my car?" And I'm like, "Honestly, because I can't believe how fucking ignorant you are."
Yeah.
And he was like, and then it just ensued into this huge argument. And I'm like, dude, the thing is, and this is where, yes, I'm being a jerk to an extent, but the car top launch has a 20-foot dock on it that he could easily have tied his sailboat to the outside of,
Yeah, been good.
blocking no one. But he tied it to a boat ramp that is at a 90-degree angle to the freaking where you launch and the water's here. So even if you wanted to put your boat in there, you couldn't get out and around his sailboat
Yeah.
to get to that ramp. And I was explaining that to him, like, "Dude, this is literally the ramp." His exact words to me were, "I've been doing this all day. I've done 6 of these." And I'm like, "Then you should know by now that this isn't the way to do this." The thing
Yeah.
is, he got lucky because if he hadn't come back for that boat that night, there was a bass boat tournament in the morning.
Oh, they would have just
Those
moved it.
guys would have unhooked that thing and kicked it right out in the lake and just left it to drift. There's
Yep.
no way those bass boat guys were going to tolerate that crap. And they're not going to go launch their $100,000 skeeters on the car top launch.
Hell no.
There's no way they're putting those boats in that launch. So
Yeah,
those
that would be
dudes
crazy.
would, yeah. And this guy was like chewing me out. And I'm like, "Dude, this conversation is not going to go the way you want it to. Like, I've been doing this probably longer than you've been around, bro." Like, but yeah, dude, it was,
People
and the
just
thing
want you
is
to
it
back
was just
down.
fun.
That's
And
what
that's the
people
thing.
want.
Yep.
Hey, people think that they're gonna get loud and just walk up to you and you're gonna back down. It's like, no, I'm still gonna use my words. I'm not gonna just swing on you.
Well, and that's the
I'm
thing,
gonna
dude.
tell
Like,
you that you're stupid.
I'm not gonna fight you unless you swing at me first because
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be
I'm
able
not gonna
to.
tell you how stupid you are until you get mad.
But at the end of the day, that dude was like 5'8", 100 pounds. I'm almost 6', 260. Like, good luck, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's not gonna go in your
you're
favor.
gonna be limping home. Like, I'm not a violent person, and I wasn't even trying to like start an argument. Yeah, I was filming him, but that's because
You did something
I'm
silly,
I'm a content creator, dude. There's always a freaking camera in my hand. Like,
right? Let's see what we got here. This chat's going a little bit. You guys are talking about ice fishing already. We don't do that around these parts.
You should come up.
I might try it. TX, what are you talking about? I'm broke. Kind of scratch Big J. I wish. I got no money.
Yeah, you should come up, dude. I'm gonna be coming down to Jersey next year.
Yeah.
My girl Janelle is, I don't know where in Jersey she is, but she's got a couple of rivers that have got lots of snakehead in them. And I'm coming down there to do like a camp out, and I'm gonna do like a snakehead send down there. We're actually possibly going down to Maryland too. But
okay.
So if definitely the way that's going to work, if we end up going to Maryland, is I'm going to come down like a day and a half early, drive to Jersey, spend the night in Jersey, and then drive the rest of the way to Maryland, because I don't really want to have to drive 10 hours in one shot and then try to fish.
Yeah. Don't do that. It's terrible. I mean, actually, I did. That's how I got to Knucklehead, but 12. It was like 10, 12 straight. But
yeah.
Oof.
I'd rather just drive down, hang out for a night, and then drive the rest of the way the next day. So.
Yeah. Charlie's got a good one here. Guys in chat, you guys can help me out with this. Senko or the Yum Dinger?
Both.
What do you got? Both?
So here's why. And this is where you're going to get some little technical details.
Can I answer it for you?
Absolutely. Try it.
So,
dude.
I know what you're going to say here. In practice, you throw dingers. Tournaments, you go straight with the Yamamoto Senko because of the price of them. You burn through a bag or two. I think I heard you say this before. You burn through a bag or two.
That's one of the reasons. The other reason is on a day where there's wind and current, I will go with the Senko. On a day that's slick calm, I'll go with the dinger because the dinger sinks slower.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not biting faster moving baits, or like it's kind of the same thing as, like, the way I look at it is if you're throwing a 16th ounce drop shot versus an 8th ounce drop shot. Why do you do one versus the other? Because it falls a little bit different, and those fish just want it a little bit slower. So I do the same thing with the Yum Dinger because I basically fish 3 colors. I fish black or black blue fleck, depending on. Lately, it's just been black. I don't even use the black blue fleck. I fish June bug, and every once in a while I'll throw in a green pumpkin, but pretty much that's it. So those brands have the same bait. It's pretty much a Yum Dinger and a Yamamoto Senko, color wise and profile wise, it's the same bait. The difference is the sink rate. So the Yamamoto Senko sinks faster. So if I'm fishing current or I need to fish faster, then I use a Senko. If I needed to fish slower, I'll use a Yum Dinger. It's silly because it shouldn't matter, but I do use both. And the other thing is, like you said too, if I'm catching a bunch of 12-inch rats, I'm not throwing the $9 a pack worm when I can throw the $4 a pack worm.
Yeah. So you want to hear something wild? I don't own any dingers.
No?
Nope. I don't think I have a pack of Yum. Anything.
Really?
Just don't have it.
That's crazy too, because
I'm gonna go with the Yamamoto Senko.
Now I will say, General Berkeley Maxent Generals, I've been throwing those way more than all of them.
Yeah.
And it's just
the
color.
Regular Berkeley Max, the
regular power bait ones.
Yeah,
fun too.
Something
and actually, yeah, Fish and Fix, that is true. Don't sleep on the Bass Pro Sticko. That is the Yum Dinger. It's the equivalent of a Yum Dinger.
Sup, Sweezy.
And it is cheaper because you can buy them in like 30 packs for what you're paying for like 12 of the other brands.
Sailboat owners have a supernatural ability to only be found when you're fishing near them.
Yep.
That's a very true thing, too. I assumed all sailboat owners would be very passive.
To be honest, though, and this is what really confuses me, like if you look at what a sailboat costs, and it must be really fun, but I just can't justify, like, what are you doing? Like, you need certain conditions to be able to use it, and you're just going from one spot to another. Like, there's no, like, to me as a fisherman, like, I'm looking at it as like, if I'm on the water, I need to be fishing. I wouldn't go on the water just to lay in the sun. So like using a sailboat to me seems silly because it's like, well, so cool, I made it to the other side of the lake and now I'm gonna go back. Like I don't
Yeah, I don't get it either.
that has no interest to me. Like
Kara said, Senkos are more fragile than a sailboater's owner's ego. With the quickness, Kara, I like that.
I will say, on a not even trying to promote one over the other, but Senkos hold up better than Yum Dingers. Yum Dingers will shred quickly.
Senko then Dinger. Catch Senkos on sale and stock up. Okay. That's what you're saying. Don't sleep on the Bass Pro Sticko.
Yeah, those are pretty good. Those are actually a pretty good little worm, and they're very comparable to the Yum Dinger. They're probably a similar formula.
Bucktail, Corey. He said he's a dinger guy. Okay. I used to throw both, but then I found the VMC crossover ring, and now I have the salt out the worm before. Oh, now I wear the salt out of the worm before it comes off. Now only throw Yamamoto, basically. Okay.
That's another little trick of worms. Something I do is sometimes I will, and it sounds really stupid, but sometimes I will put a little bit of water in the pack with the worms and get them wet and blow them up a little bit because it changes the action. And I found that completely by accident. I actually had one fall in the bottom of my kayak, like on the deck of my kayak, and I always have a little bit of water in there, and I had a bag fill up with water. And what it does with a lot of those baits is the salt starts to come out of them, and it actually mats out the color a little bit. So the color fades down a little bit when they get wet. So it gets some of the shine off of them. And for some reason, that one pack of worms worked better than the stock brand new one that I replaced it with. So then I started, like, if I have what I will do a lot of times is if I change colors, I'll put all the ones I changed back in one bag. So I have like a used bag of worms that have had water in them, and they will kind of, like, the finish will wear off of them as you fish them. Some weird nuance. I don't know why it matters. It might just be in my head too. But
anyone heard of the Sassy Stick? My boy Tweezy said with biz baits. Super durable, hella salty, and they stink so good. Have to try that.
Did you see the podcast I did? I got to buy that book, that one I did with Rudd recently.
No.
So this is what's really crazy. I didn't even think about this till just now, but apparently, according to scientists at Berkeley, which, to be honest, I believe, bass can't even smell garlic. Doesn't even register in their olfactory system.
Really?
It's not even a scent that they can even register. So they think that the only reason that garlic scented baits work is because it masks the human scent within the garlic.
Yep.
So when you touch the bait, your oils in your hand just mixes with the garlic, and it doesn't register with them as much of a danger.
I believe that too.
Because sometimes I think that is the case, because I know I've had situations where I've had baits that I like have handled and then like fished them and not caught fish, and then taken a fresh pack of baits and then weren't scented ones. They're just straight up like bait, like Yum Dingers that don't really have a true scent, and then caught fish on the fresh ones, but not caught fish on the ones that have been on my hook all week.
Yeah.
And they probably picked up scent off of the road, off of my truck, off of everything else.
I think about that stuff too.
Dude, I got to get that book because I think I'm going to buy the book and then I'm going to rent it out to other people. Dude, the book's $180. But it has, like, it's literally the science that Berkeley used to base their bass lab off of.
What's the name of this book?
Knowing Bass. It's on Amazon for like $180
That's what I say.
But I'm thinking, my thought is, I want to get the book and then get some buddies that want to read it and then be like, yeah, give me $20, I'll let you borrow it, and then I'll like make my money back over time on it, because it is expensive. But at the same time, like, if you think about it, I wouldn't think of anything to drop $180 at Bass Pro on bait. So am I really, you know what I
Wait,
mean?
the
Versus,
scientific approach to catching more bass?
yep, that's literally a that is the book that Berkeley based their fishing, like their lab, their
Oh,
pond on.
wow. Yeah, paperback, 179.
Yep.
Hardcover, 257.
It's no longer in print anymore. That's why. So the copies you're buying are the ones that are out there, and that's it. It's not in production anymore.
What?
Yep. Rudd has it right on his desk. He probably brought it out during the podcast, and he's been quoting it the last like 3-4 lives that he's talked about stuff that he's learned from it. Like, there's so much, like, it's literally like it's not bass biology. It's literally specifically like, why do bass act the way they do when they're looking at a bait, when they're looking at scent, and we're talking like, when they did this research, they like stuck probes in bass's brains and then introduced scents into the water to see how their brains would react. So like they know the bat, like Rudd was saying the number one fear was sunscreen, which makes sense.
Sunscreen?
Sunscreen. So sunscreen, if they introduced that in the water, they literally had probes in the bass's brain reading every electrical impulse in their brain, and as soon as they smelled sunscreen, their fear response was at the maximum level it could be. But garlic, they could not smell at all.
Wow. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm about to go down to my freaking local library and be like, yo, and just honestly, you know what's crazy? What's your local library's fee for keeping a book?
When I find one, I'll let you know. I don't have a local library.
I got a couple.
We've got, well, I can't say that. We have one here in town, but I'm pretty sure the most advanced book in that library is Dr. Seuss Green Eggs and Ham. I don't think it's much more advanced than that.
Because I live in a very pretty populated area. That's a little scummy, but at the same time, if they're like, oh, if you ever keep a book, it's $30.
I mean, if you keep,
I might just walk in and give them a 50 spot and be like,
I was gonna say, listen, the $180 book, I'll give you 60 for it.
Be like, hey guys, I'm sorry, you're not getting this back.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Here's $50. GG's.
Yeah, I want to try to see if I can find that book somewhere, but the problem is like, around here there really isn't local everything. You got to remember, I also live in a state where our fire department is volunteer, like, everywhere. There's no paid fire department in Vermont.
That's wild.
There's no full-time career in fire, like anything like that. Like, you are all volunteer for everything. So if it's there, it's because the town is.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some research on this book too, y'all. We're gonna figure this out. Somebody's
at the very least, if I end up buying it, I will mail it down to Maine, and he can come on here in his lives when he doesn't have a guest and just read you guys a chapter at a time.
Right? I should. Yeah,
I thought about doing it.
Dave said I'd rent it for $20. Absolutely. Can they taste garlic?
So that was the other thing that Rudd said in that book, that apparently, and this is something that they probably can, but they may not be able to. But he was saying that, like, this is the other thing that's weird, is like, for like humans, our sense of taste is the same as our sense of smell. Like, it's combined. In a bass, it's not. Those are two different signals to the brain that are separate. So like, they can actually smell so they can smell a bait in the water but not taste it. They can just smell it, and then when they get it in their mouth, that's when the sense of taste kicks in. It's not like us, where like when you smell pizza, you can almost taste the pizza in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's not the same way for bass. Apparently those senses are not connected, which is why power bait is. So that was what Rudd explained to me, is like, that's what power bait is. Power bait itself was designed so that when the bait actually touches the inside of their mouth, it sends a signal to their brain whether they need to eat or reject it. That is the one scent, taste, whatever. That technology is literally designed to make them keep it in their mouth because they believe it's a real food. And then once it hits their crushers, that's the other thing that's weird is it's an autonomic response. Like once it hits their crushers, they don't have any control over eating it at that point. They're not swallowing. Once it hits their crushers, it's just pulling it in like an automated process that they're not even doing, which is why you'll find that when you catch a fish, like you'll notice like they'll have a craw or like a bluegill in their throat, but they're still eating your bait. That's because once they start to swallow, that's completely automatic and they don't have to think about it. So now they're going to get the next thing to put into the conveyor belt.
I always wondered that.
And that's why the power bait was designed to make them taste it and keep it in their mouth because it tastes natural. The max scent was designed to disperse scent to get them to be attracted to it and then eat it. And then the taste of the max scent was also a taste that's natural that allows them to keep it in their mouth longer.
All right.
That's the difference between the two. I always thought that max scent was just like an improved version of the old formula, but there's actually two purposes for each of those. And that's the kind of crap that's in that book. And that's why I'm probably going to drop $180 on a book so I can sit there and read it because I geek out on that stuff. Like the more you know about a bass's like brain, the more stuff starts to make sense when you're out there on the water.
So TX said, so you are saying that the copy I found at the garage sale for $2 was a good buy? And I was going to ask him if he was telling the truth. That was crazy. And he goes, that was a joke, by the way. That would have been, I was going to say, good steal, buddy.
Yeah.
But, Jesus, time's flying already. Give me some, what baits are you throwing right now in this, with this water cool down? I know what I'm throwing.
See, it's weird. So this is something that I actually just said in one of the videos that I'm going to be releasing in a couple weeks. But everybody has this weird misconception that that you stop using finesse in the cold. Don't. Throw your wacky rigs, throw your Ned rigs, but also throw your square bills and your moving baits. Just move them slower or downsize them. So like if you're throwing and you can probably tell me the 6 cents equivalent, but like I'm just going to use like the Strike King size. So like if you're throwing a 2.5 square bill, throw 1.5.
Yeah. So I'd be 100 to a 50.
Yeah. So what I do with mine is I will typically cast them any bait. So swim jig, paddle tails, stuff like that. I will work them slower, like significantly slower. Like with a square bill, a lot of times I will throw them. So like I basically reel in them so you just barely feel the vibration of them.
That's the whole lineup right there.
That top one?
Yeah, so you got the Crush 100.
That one's a good
color.
That color and that bait is go buy one now and use code MAIN, even though he doesn't have a code yet.
Yeah, this is the bluegill spawn. Yeah, stupid.
That color, dude. Jerkbait, lipless. I have almost every one of the colors they make. That
one thing I'm going to tell everyone: do not look at this dang bait and go, "Oh, it's a little big." It's not.
It's not.
I'm telling you right now, it's not. It's not at all. Honestly, I think that throwing this one might be better than throwing the Crush 100. Just throw this one all the time. I'm not even joking.
Yep.
It's just like you think that this is big. This is like the perfect size for a bass.
Well, and to be fair too, though, the 6 cents baits have a tighter wobble to them. So like a Strike King has more of a this, right? Those have more of a shimmy. So those have more of a hunting action. So those definitely I've never really been particular on square bills, but those 6 cents ones have kind of won me over in a lot of the different colors because of the way and the hooks are good. That's one thing I will say about 6 cents, and like Berkeley and 6 cents are a perfect example of like, to be honest, Strike King should just start selling their square bills without hooks because those hooks suck. Like they're awful hooks. Yeah. But the 6 cents ones and the Berkeley ones, those freaking hooks are the 6 cents ones, dude. Those hooks are so. How you know, in case you ever wanted to know if it's a good hook or not, take the hook, put the tip against your finger, and then pull it away. if it sticks to your finger without putting pressure on your finger, that's a good hook. Because those 6th Sense ones, just like the Berkeley ones, they're not only filed down, they're chemically sharpened as well.
Yeah.
And those things, like when you just touch your finger and you draw blood because they're that sharp, those are what you want. Those other ones on other brands, you can use them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying throw a bunch of money away buying a bunch of hooks, but I've had a lot of the ones from other brands bend out or not get good hooks in them. Whereas those 6th Sense ones are good.
Guy here, I think that not enough people throw this guy enough, including myself. But like when I say I've never had, this is the finesse, the curved finesse.
Yep.
I've never had a fish eat a crankbait better than this bait.
They eat those ones like head on too.
Like whole bait. Yeah, like it's
the bill is in their crushers when you're trying to pull it out of their throat.
It's like this. Like they have it like this.
Yeah.
Like you know how you hook a fish and the mouth is closed, your line's just coming out.
Yep.
And it's like stupid. I'm actually gonna.
The only problem with those is sometimes it's hard to get the hooks back out of them because the hooks are like in their crushers twisted around.
Yep. You got to bring so I have like surgical needle nose.
Yep.
And I just
what I do use is those like they come in like kits. They're really designed for kids, but like those de-hooker things with like the handle with like the trigger.
Yeah.
Those actually work really good for gut hook fish because it's straight. It's like a pen, you know what I mean? So you can get it down in there and you can grab it and grab that hook, and it allows you to kind of twist it to get it untwisted, because that's the hardest part once they get it in their throat is that it's usually wrapped around itself and you have to like untwist it, otherwise you're ripping their freaking crushers out.
Yep.
But yeah, but other than that, dude, honestly, I go back. So this is something that's, I don't know if it's maybe me, but if you're trying to decide what you want to throw in the fall, what would you throw in the spring? It's pretty much the same baits.
Yeah. I do a lot of jerk baiting.
Yeah.
Jerk bait, spinner bait becomes like staples for me. Jerk bait, spinner bait, crank bait.
The spawn baits are also the fall baits up in the north. I can't speak for the south because you guys have a little bit different climate down there. Up here, the problem is we go from summer, especially in Vermont and like Vermont North, is we go from damn, it's so freaking hot, I can't stand it, to I need a jacket. There's no middle ground. Like you wake up one morning and yesterday it literally feels like last weekend you were fishing in shorts and this weekend you're throwing your bibs on.
Yeah.
And it's just like our water temps went down 15 degrees in a week and a half.
Yeah.
And it just progressively goes down. Now it will come up and down as the weather goes up.
It'll slow down. Yeah, but it takes our water was like 82, 83, I think, at Candlewood. I think in like a week, 2 weeks, it dropped down to like 65.
The lake I was fishing yesterday was Sunday. The lake I fished Sunday was 53. Yeah, we're already hitting like fall feed up. What sucks up here is that you not only get the fall feed up temperature, but then like you hit it like a quick window where like it just stops.
Yep. I always say that it's like a hard wall, especially up here in the north. It's like there's no like, you can literally miss the fall feed.
Yeah, you have a short window.
Let's see what we got. JP said smaller baits in the fall than he does in the spring. There we go. My boy Corey. Yeah, it's not that easy. So, like, one thing I can say about getting down to Gunnersville is, like, just because the name of the lake is the name of the lake, that doesn't mean it's easy.
No.
You know, you get truly lost in that, and like you get down there and you're like, okay, this lake has double digits in it. It's gonna be easy. Oh yeah, I'm catching 5s and 4s and 3s. No,
Nope.
it's not
Dude,
like that at all.
I was at Cayuga 2 weeks ago, dude. We caught 6 fish over the weekend.
Oof.
And most of the biggest fish I caught was a 17 or 18.
So you know what? I'm actually like afraid to go up there, and I cannot because of the lake, because of like it's not. I know it's not going to be what I want it to be because of what just happened there. The amount of pressure that that lake is
Yeah.
going to get, especially into this spring, because I already thought about it. So I know everybody else and their mama did it too. So a New York State record was broken. If you don't know, now you know. New York State
Twice.
record was broken there. Yeah, it holds the record for largemouth and smallmouth.
Well, the smallmouth record got broke twice.
Yeah, twice in the same lake.
In like 2-month window.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Then what everyone's thinking is all 3 of those fish were released.
Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
you already know what that means. If you go back and you catch the same fish in the spring and it's got 10% of body weight in eggs, minimum 10%. If it was 12.6, I think it was, because the record was 11.3 and he beat it by a pound and 3 ounces or something like that. It was like 12.6, 12.4, something like that. So you mean to tell me that fish minimum would have 1 pound of eggs? Minimum.
Yep.
So you would instantly, you wouldn't even have to do anything crazy. You would just have to catch the same fish, and now you're the New York State record holder.
See, and that's something that this is something that I think is funny too, because do you know the name of the dude that caught the state record?
Jim Breitenbaugh.
Why do you know it? Because it's Facebook, right? But other than
Yeah.
that, do you know the guy who was the guy that those guys beat?
I have no idea. The only reason I know is because of freaking Google.
And that's my problem with it, is like up here, like the state record largemouth, for example, is 10 pounds. It was broken in like 80 something, 83, I think, right?
Yeah.
I only know the name of the dude because my wife works at a nursing home and he was one of her patients.
That's crazy.
That's the only reason I know. Because that's what sucks up here. You have to kill the fish. There's no release.
What?
You have to kill it and mail it to Fish and Game.
What?
There is no way in release. So I will come on record and say, if I catch a state record fish, I am going to film the ever living crap out of it. I'm going to treat it gently. I'm going to show you the actual scale, and then you're going to watch me release that fish, and I'm not going to claim the record, because as far as I'm concerned, especially if a fish lives to be 10 pounds plus,
you shouldn't kill it.
I'm not killing that thing. It's just,
Yeah,
and that's what's stupid.
Apparently, you got to do that in Canada too.
Yep, it's such a stupid rule. You should be able to call Fish and Game.
Yes, they come.
Go to the boat ramp and
yeah.
just keep it alive in a net until they get there. Try to keep it as low stress as possible. Or if you have a boat, throw it in your live well, and then weigh it right there at the ramp, and then that's your certification. This whole, like, you literally have to bring it out of the water. Like, the only certified scales here in Vermont are like grocery stores. So you have to bring a bass to a grocery store to get it to be weighed.
So there's like a slim chance you can keep it alive.
It's not going to happen. It's such a stupid thing, and it makes no sense to me, because in my mind, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like a vegan, don't harm the animals. I'm a hunter. Like, I kill animals and I'll eat. I mean, that's not the problem. The problem in my mind is I have respect for a fish that is that big.
Yeah.
That fish has survived predators, it's survived birds, it's survived humans, it's survived who knows what kind of climate and environmental, to have me kill it so I can get my name on some freaking list that no one reads. I guess I just don't have enough of an ego to care. Don't get me wrong. If I
Yeah.
won like 20 grand in a bass boat for killing that fish, I'd consider it. But
Yeah.
putting my name on a list that, like, I did this as a survey with my tournament trail. I was like, I asked them, my guys, who holds the record for the biggest smallmouth in Vermont? Not one of 12 guys could tell you that. So if no one that fishes tournaments can tell you
Yeah.
who
They
holds
don't
the
care.
record, what significance does that record really have?
It's a fact.
It really doesn't. And if anything, like you said, the only thing it's going to do is ruin a lake, because now you're going to get 50 guys that think that they're going to set the new record by fishing the crap out of that lake
And catching it in the spring or whatever.
and they're going to go beat it up.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. Cayuga, I will say, that is a 40,000 acre lake.
See, but my only thing about that is that when you say a 40,000 acre lake, is that in like length?
That
is
lake is 38 miles long.
Okay.
So that lake's probably bigger than your state. Like, you think about this. Think about from the end to end. If you think about, like, for a lot of people, like it's 38 miles from tip to tip, and that's not counting width. It took me almost an hour to get from one end to the other with my bass boat at full speed, because I had a small motor. So for any other, like, you could take 10 other lakes in anybody's state and put them together, and they wouldn't be as big as Cayuga. Cayuga is like 400 feet deep in the middle.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's like stupid.
It's
like
insane.
Scary.
And it's like Lake Champlain, the same thing. Like, people are like, don't get me wrong, I wish that they would do a little bit more with conservation and be a little bit more conservative on the tournaments, right? I'm very happy that Bassmaster decided they're not coming back to Champlain this year, or 2025, because I think they need to calm down a little bit on the, like, 7-day-a-week tournament crap.
Yeah.
But a lake that big has so many fish in it.
I don't think it's it's not necessarily the tournament for 7 days. You got to think about the quality of guys that you're putting on that lake.
Yep.
Like, you're putting, if it's MLF, it's like, God dang, you got 35, 50 hammers. Like, bass, you got 100 hammers. Like, you got to qualify to get in. It's not even like let me just go pay to get in that. Like, no, you got to go to this, qualify to get to this, then qualify, and then you get in a field of guys that all qualified to get there. Like,
I'm honestly shocked at the state of New York because of the way they allowed those schedules to happen. Because you had
all on the spawn.
Well, there was Bassmaster Open, right? So there was an open qualifier the weekend before the Elite Series hit Champlain. Then they left, the Bassmaster guys left, the Elite guys left to go to St. Lawrence, and the MLF guys came from St. Lawrence down to Champlain.
Yeah.
So for basically 4 weeks, that lake was getting hit with arguably the best fishermen in the country. For 200 plus of the best fishermen in the country for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah. It's like, why do you need to do
That's a lot. And the same thing happened to St. Lawrence, because the Elite guys went to St. Lawrence and the MLF guys came down to Champlain.
There you go.
TX. And especially the MLF guys, because, yeah, they're catch and release, but they're still freaking beating up on all those fish.
TX said Rhode Island is 37 miles across from east to west.
Yeah, and Cayuga's big. Yeah, Cayuga's 38.8.
Yep.
That lake, like I said, that lake is fun. It is definitely one of those places, though, and that is something as a kayak angler, you have to think about this, too. You do not want to go to Cayuga for a weekend, because I didn't even get to fish Cayuga when I went up there. I was up there for 4 days, and I didn't even get to fish it because the weather was so bad that it wasn't worth fishing it. Because I was in 3 or 4 foot rollers in the bay, not even in Cayuga yet. I was in the bay that is the tributary to it. And I was I'm not even going to go out on the main lake because I'm in a 10-foot plastic boat and it's fall.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's one thing about that area I will say. If you go to Lake Ontario,
those lakes get big, and that wind, people don't realize, like, wind coming across a regular lake, it's like, oh, this is annoying. I can't sit on my spot. Oh, I got a little chop.
Yeah.
I'm getting the boom, boom,
yeah,
boom. You know, it's like, okay, I got to sit in that. Dang, this is annoying. I don't want to deal with this. I got to keep pedaling, keep paddling. When you get with these big lakes,
that's rolling you over.
whole different breed.
That is to your. I was taking on water.
Yeah.
Because I didn't shut my hatch fully.
Yep.
I had water in my kayak. I was dull.
Hold on, real quick. Like the first couple are like doof, doof, and you're like, oh wow, it's aggressive, and then it turns into, wow,
Yep.
I need to go.
Yeah, you're nose diving into waves.
It's aggressive, so.
All right, so the wife came up earlier. That's what she was talking about. Apparently, I have water in my basement again, so I got to go play plumber.
Okay.
I think I got the sub pump probably tripped a breaker again, and I got to go turn it back on. But I'm gonna go deflood my basement. But for those of you who, the group that's kind of our mutual patrons at this point, I will be back next week. I have kind of a cool guest that's coming on. I'm getting into the camping thing, talking about that Cayuga trip. I'm talking to an overland company that makes truck caps that are designed for like camping and stuff like that. So I'm going to be bringing them on next week. So I will be back on the spawn on my own show next week. I ended up not streaming this to mine because the audio wouldn't come through. So, and I noticed that the group in here was all here anyways, and it's the same people that watch mine. So I didn't want to make them watch two streams. But I'm going to bail out, guys, and I will leave Maine here to keep entertaining you guys.
Mike, always a pleasure having you, brother. I'm probably going to head out soon too, but good to have you. Anytime you want to jump on, let me know.
Oh, this fall, dude, we'll be doing this a lot more for sure.
Yes, sir.
See you, good,
brother. All right. Yeah, I might get out of here soon too. What do we got? What do we got going on? Yeah, sorry about the delay in content, y'all. I'm in the process of. Might as well just hit y'all with it now. I left my job. I'm in the process of taking a test to get my qualifications for the new job. So I'm kind of locked in on that. Got my priorities straight real quick. So, yeah. Just got to do all that stuff first. And then once I get that rolling and I get my head on straight and I know my life is going to be okay, then I can put a little extra time into getting the content going. But I think I'm going to do they're sitting over here somewhere. I don't even know where they're. Oh, here we go. I got 2 6-inch sacks that I ain't do the video for yet. Actually, good ones too. I don't even remember which one's which at this point. And this one has something I really wanted to fish in. It's not this one. So I think, where are we now? Where it's October. So I think this one's August, and then I'm pretty sure this is September. Or no. Yeah. This is September. Yep. Because this one's got something in it that I don't think I've ever gotten in it before. What is this? Oh, this one's got. Oh. Yeah, this is a really good one. Kind of forgot what was in here. Hold up. This one's a good one too. There's one thing in here that I'm not a fan of, but then there's a couple things in here that I'm really a fan of. So yeah, I got to get this video out. I got to get both of these out for y'all. So we got August, September. And what I'm thinking about, I think I'm going to do a little comparison video. I'm going to show both sacks and then let you guys tell me which one you guys think is better. And yeah, see if they fit the month. I think the next one's coming too, so I got to get that rolling. But yeah, hopefully the new job should give me a little bit more freedom to fish on the weekends. It shouldn't hold me up on my tournament schedules at all. So next year I'll actually be able to qualify for AOI. Plan to be in. I want to get into the top 10 in the club so I can get invited to the invitational. And then I also want to just be able to, like, on the weekends, get out to Corey or, you know, meet Gramps when he comes up to the Susky and things like that. So it was just a life move for your boy that I felt was necessary. So here we are and working through it, y'all. So talked to a bunch of people down at the Knucklehead about it personally, and thank you to big shout out to Corey and Trevor and Caro. Me and Caro stayed up chatting until like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning one night, just talking about life. And but special shout out to them. Corey just got back. I just gave you a big shout out, Corey. I just told everybody about what's going on with the job and everything. So, well, because that's pretty much why I haven't put out the content. Is because anytime I have some downtime, I try to get this test banged out. So I got a good chunk of it knocked out today. But all right, Fishing Maniacs. Yeah, I'll get that out this week. I'll get that out. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah. I'll either do it tomorrow or Thursday morning. I think I'm actually going to go fishing tomorrow morning early and then run home and get some more tests and stuff done. So, yeah, I'll probably go throw around a spinnerbait for a little bit somewhere. I kind of want to go to a spot where there's some smallies. Good one, Little Rich. Yeah, we got smoked. Y'all got it. Enjoy your championship night because y'all not winning it again. So, Fish Maniacs, thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate y'all. And until next time, deuces. Y'all have a good night. See you on the next one.